Hello, everyone. All right, so today we are going to continue to investigate adjectives in their comparative and superlative forms. But today we're going to look at an exception to the rule, actually, two. There are more, but today we're going to be looking at the adjectives good and bad. So, just to review, comparative is when we are comparing two things, right? So, if I say this person is taller than this person, we add ER to show that this one is taller than this one we're comparing. And if I have more than two things that I'm comparing, like let's say I have this one, and I don't know, if I'm comparing crayons, a marker, and a ruler, right? I would say the ruler is the tallest of the school items. So there I would be adding EST because I'm comparing more than one thing. So when we're looking at the word good, right, if we're just using it in a sentence, I might say the apple is good. The apple is good, right? And that good is describing the noun apple. Now, if I want to compare the apple to the orange, let's say, I might say the apple is blank than the orange. Would I say the apple is gooder than the orange? It doesn't sound right, right? And that's because we don't grammatically use that term when we're speaking. The apple is better than the orange. Okay. So when we're comparing two things in terms of their goodness, right, we would say that it is better. The comparative version is better. Now, let's think about the superlative. If I'm comparing the apple to every other piece of fruit in a fruit bowl, right, I would say the apple is the, well, what did I say? The apple is the blank fruit in the fruit bowl. Okay, so here I would say the apple is the best fruit in the bowl. Okay, so the superlative version of good is best. Now, bad works similarly. It changes its comparative and superlative form. So if I say the weather is bad, right? I'm comparing the weather. I'm not comparing the weather. I'm just saying how the weather is. I'm just describing it. So then I just have it as an adjective. The weather is bad. Now, if I'm comparing the weather to yesterday's weather, right, I might say today's weather is blank than yesterday's. What would I put in there? Today's weather is, worse than yesterday's. Okay, today's weather is worse than yesterday's. I'm comparing today and yesterday, so that would be a comparative form, and bad changes to worse. Now, let's say it's this huge storm, and it's just weather that we have never seen in comparison to any other day that we have experienced, right? Boy, this just does not want to clean nicely for me. We would say today's weather is the blank I've ever seen, right? What would we say? We would say today's weather is the worst I've ever seen. Okay, so here, even though I'm not listing a bunch of things I'm comparing today's weather to, it's the worst I've ever seen, which means that I am comparing it to every other day and its weather I've ever experienced. So that's a ton, right? So Worst is our superlative, okay? So this is what we're practicing today, really just focusing on the exceptions, good and bad. So remember, it goes good, better, best, bad, worse, worst, okay? So avoid gooder, avoid goodest, no badder, no baddest, right? It is worst and best, better and worse. All right, have a good time doing grammar. See you next time.